Okay, let's make sure audio is working. Okay, let's make. All right, audio is working and we're good. What's going on, everybody? I know it's been really about a couple of weeks since I've actually done any streaming on the channel, but it's your boy Maitland, and I'm back, jumping back into the Madden 26 Kansas City Chiefs rebuild. We're going into season number 2 after we finished the back half. Well, not really the back half, just the last few games of the 2025 season. And, this Chiefs rebuild, I'm really hoping that maybe even this year, or, if not this year, the next year, I can get the Chiefs finally back to the Super Bowl and win it and complete the rebuild. Because I got to be honest, there's some Madden, I feel like a couple of Maddens ago, aka a couple of years ago, I was really getting rebuilds done in a decent pace. I wasn't taking several seasons to do them because that Cowboys rebuild alone, that took me it felt like almost a decade to get the Cowboys to win a championship, and it took Dak Prescott retiring and drafting another quarterback that's fake. So I'm kind of hoping this Chiefs rebuild is going to be a little bit of a quicker one. Hoping I can get them maybe to the Super Bowl this season and win it. The good news is that, like I said, this team really is pretty stacked to begin with, because when you look at our coaching situation, Andy Reid is, 99 at everything. I mean, he's not in danger of losing his job whatsoever. Our offensive coordinator, though, is actually kind of down bad at 38%. But I'm sticking with the current coaching staff that I have, mainly because of the fact that, Mahomes is back this season off the torn ACL. So that's big news for us. So now it's time to meet the squad for year number 2. Now, it does still like that Mahomes is still banged up, so he might not even be able to play in the preseason, but we did sign Sam Howell to be the new backup quarterback. We honestly might have to sign a third quarterback in the preseason just in case Mahomes is not fully ready to go to participate. But, you've seen him in some other Cowboy franchises that I've done. We did draft Jeremiah Love in the first round, 78 overall running back. But I got a feeling that overall is going to go up to in the mid to upper 80s by the time this first season is done and his first rookie season is done. But we did sign Devin Singletary to back him up. We have Rashard Smith, who we drafted last year, and Bam Knight is the fourth running back. We did sign C.J. Ham to be our new fullback at 75 overall. He was one of the best available. Our receiving core has dipped a little bit in terms of overalls. We don't have really anybody in the 90s, but we still have Rashee Rice, who's staying out of trouble. And we have an 80 overall Xavier Worthy, 74 Jacoby Lane, who we drafted out of USC, and we also have Jalen Royals, and we have Brown Lee. So we don't really have a deep receiving core. I might look to add another receiver in free agency before the season begins. And now, as far as tight ends, Travis Kelce did retire in the offseason, so I'm going to have to go with Noah Gray as the starter for now. If there's a tight end that is available on the trade block or something like that, I might go for it. But I'm going with a 76 Noah Gray as our starter. I think that's okay. We did draft Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt, though, to basically kind of be Kelsey's replacement, so to speak. Gray was a free agent himself, so I brought him back on, I think, a 1 to 2 year deal, just in case we can't find a tight end that's going to be a capable starter in the next few seasons, and maybe if Stowers doesn't work out. But I'm hoping he does. And we also still have Jared Wiley, and we have Billingstall, but he's really the long snapper, if I recall. Josh Simmons, our starting left tackle at 81. He just finished his rookie season, is 23 years old, already up to 81. I'm hoping he's going to be the left tackle that's going to be the guy for the future to help protect Mahomes' blind side. Left guard, Kinsley Suamalia, he's back at 75 overall. Center is Creed Humphrey, he's back, 95 overall. He's our top offensive lineman. We also do have Trey Smith still here at right guard at 91, and we have a 76 Jawan Taylor. So our weakest point is really the right tackle. I say that. Our lowest rated position on the offensive line as a starter is actually the left guard. But 3 out of the 5 positions are 80s or 90s. And 2 of them are actually 90s. So I feel good about the offensive line heading into this season, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to keep looking. Karloftis is an 83 overall. Smith is going to be his backup. What happened? Oh, sorry. Okay. We also have Mike Dana coming back at 77, Galate 73, Felix, and then we also did draft Patrick Payton out of LSU. He's only coming in at a 70 overall, but hopefully he can become that starter for the future. Chris Jones is still here, 10 years in the league, 93 overall, holding down the defense tackle spot. And we have some decent backups behind him. Sam linebacker, Leo Chanel, I brought him back, 84. We also have Anthony Pittman, 60 overall, backing him up. I signed him in free agency. Nick Bolton's back at 81 overall. McDonald, and we have Christensen, 86. Drew Tranquil, I decided to bring him back, although I think he's only on the last year of his deal. He only wanted a one-year deal anyway. And we have Bossa, who's backing him up at 68 overall. Trent McDuffie is our best corner, 95 overall. Fulton's still here, 77. I signed Jaquan McMillan, the former Bronco, at 76 overall. We have Noel Williams and Roland Wallace. Byard, I decided to sign in free agency. That was probably our biggest splash in free agency in terms of high overall guys. 82 overall free safety coming in as a starter. And also I signed DeMar Hamlin to be the backup to him. Our strong safety is still Connor, and we have Hicks as his backup. I couldn't really find many upgrades for that. Bucker's still our kicker at 81, and I signed Corey Bajorquez as our punter at 79. And our long snapper is Evan Deckers. So it's not that other tight end. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take a look at some of the injury situations here because it looks like Mahomes is still hurt. So Mahomes is still out 3 to 7 weeks. So he's going to miss the entire preseason. And also it looks like we still have Morris hurt. Levitt is still hurt. So I think I might have to sign some depth here. So I'm going to have to get to it. So unfortunately it looks like Mahomes is still hurt, which isn't good. So honestly, I'm going to have to sign a stopgap guy at quarterback. And I don't want to sign Phillip Rivers. He's 80. He's too old. So I'm going to sign Mason Rudolph. Honestly, he might have to be our starter for a few weeks. Hate to do that, but it is what it is if that's the way it is. Okay, our roster right now is at 56 players. If there's another decent receiver out here, I might want to take a look at that. You have Josh Reynolds and Brandon Cooks out here. None of those guys are scheme fit guys, but I'm going to go ahead and sign Josh Reynolds to give us some more depth at receiver and give us a little bit more help. The good thing is that we're not in salary cap hell, so we can actually afford to sign some of these guys. And what other positions do we have guys banged up at? So we have backup will linebacker, Morris. I'm going to probably sign another left tackle and then another defensive tackle. Okay, so I'm going to sign another left tackle and another defensive tackle at free agency. All right. Lamb. I'm signing Andre Dillard. Left tackle to give us some depth. And let's go ahead and get another defensive tackle on the roster. Fatuski, 75, or Shelby Harris. I think I'm going to favor the younger guy, Fatukoski. I'm going to go with him, 75 overall. So we've got some depth there, and I might go ahead and sign another linebacker. That's Will. Christian Rosenboom. Looks pretty solid. I'm going to sign him to give us a little bit of a stopgap guy. All right, so let me take a look now at the roster, and let me see kind of what we have going on here. I mostly want to take a look at the depth charts. All right. So Sam Howell actually is still our top quarterback. Mason Rudolph, I'm going to have him basically be his backup until Mahomes comes back. But we're going to have Jeremiah Love be our starter. Singletary, we got Smith. Fullback is C.J. Ham. What does Josh Reynolds do to our receiving core? Okay, that makes him our third best receiver. Jacoby Lane's going to be the fourth guy. So now that gives us some more depth at receiver. Royals, of course, is still hurt, but he's probably going to be able to come back pretty soon. So we'll be able to have basically 6 receivers as far as depth for this season, which is good. So Dillard is going to become the backup left tackle for Simmons because our backup in Morris is banged up. Let me take a look at our defensive tackle room now. I mean, Chris Jones is healthy, so that's good. But Loft is banged up, and so is Pickens. So, Volonowski, Fatuski, 75 overall, is going to be in here as the starter as the backup for a little bit. And Rosenboom coming in at 73 overall. That'll help us with some depth there. I think corners were... How many corners do we have? We have, 5 of them? Maybe I should just go ahead and sign a sixth guy just for depth. I probably should do that if we can afford it, because I don't know, what our salary situations, if we're getting close or not. I probably am going to go ahead and sign in the corner. Okay, Witherspoon actually is available and not looking too bad. It's 76 overall. I think I'm going to sign him. And we can afford him. That's great. Awesome. Okay, so now let me take a look at the depth chart with another corner on the roster. All right, so Witherspoon becomes our fourth best corner, 76. You got Williams, Roland. Yeah, McMillan's still going to be the third guy, but we got McDuffie and we got Fulton. So we got some better depth now. Our roster now is at 61 players, which is looking healthier in terms of how many guys we have on the team. So that's looking good. And then again, all these guys we're signing in free agency are only on 1-year deals anyway. So I'm really expecting them just to kind of come in and be stopgap guys. Really, especially with Mason Rudolph being the backup quarterback behind basically what's going to have to be Sam Howell. So honestly, this preseason is going to be a little bit telling as to, what Sam Howell is capable of in running the show until Mahomes is recovered. I did not realize we were going to be without Mahomes for the preseason, and it looks like, honestly, for probably the first few weeks of the regular season. So that's not looking too promising, if I'm being brutally honest. So we got our first preseason game against the Carolina Panthers on the road. Let's see how we do, and let's see how Sam Howell kind of does. I think I'm going to determine who's going to start based on the stat lines of the players. So let me actually go ahead and take a look at the team, at the schedule. And I'm going to go ahead and see kind of statistically how these guys do in the preseason. So the first game, we got a win, so that was good. We won 27-10, which was actually kind of a blowout. And Mason Rudolph threw for 3 touchdowns. He only had 1 interception. Looks like that then again, the starting unit didn't play very long, and of course right now he's penciled in as the starter. He didn't really do too much, and he actually threw an interception. Now, both QBs did throw a pick, but Mason Rudolph played better. He had a QB of 105.4, and he had 3 touchdowns. So that's looking pretty impressive. Just out of curiosity, let me see how Love did in his first game, even though it's a preseason game. Well, Singletary came in and actually played better. As far as receiving, looks like we had Rice with 1 touchdown and Brownlee had a touchdown. And looks like Rashard Smith had a receiving touchdown, I guess, out of the backfield, so that's pretty good. So first preseason game, as far as the edge, it's really going to It's really going to Mason Rudolph, who we actually literally just picked up. So, maybe just because of the consistency, I'm going to give Mason Rudolph the start against the Cowboys and see what he can do. Just kind of see where we're going. Let me go ahead and upgrade players just to see what we've got. So Mahomes actually can be upgraded even though he's currently injured. So let me go to the injury report if I can and maybe see kind of what we're looking like. So it looks like 3 to 5 weeks for Mahomes. It says return no, so I'm worried. Are we going to not have him for the season? I mean, that... Okay, well, I think he'll be back. He's got to be back at some point. But, all right, so we're mixing things up a little bit for week 2 of the preseason. We're giving Mason Rudolph the start against the Cowboys, and I want to see how he does. If he doesn't do better and maybe, Howell comes in and plays better, then maybe I'll favor him for the second game. Okay, we scored 31 points, but we lost. That's not too bad. It looks like that even despite the fact that we don't have our starting quarterback playing in this preseason, and of course our starting quarterback is arguably the best quarterback in the league, it looks like that the backup QBs we have are still performing well. We just lost, lost by 3 points, but, we scored 31 points. So let me see how things kind of went in this game. So let me see. So as far as our quarterback performances, Mason Rudolph performed well again. He performed better than Sam Howell. He performed and did in this game as well. He had 210 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, no picks, so none of our QBs threw interceptions. Howell played better in this game, but he only had 50. But better in a sense that he only had like maybe 20 or so yards more than he did in the first game, and it's only 53. So it's really looking like that. I think I'm going to favor Mason Rudolph starting the season until Mahomes comes back. Our running game, Singletary's still the main guy, but Jeremiah Love did score his first NFL touchdown, albeit in a preseason game. 5 carries, 20 yards. Our receivers, Rashee Rice almost had 100 yards receiving. He had 1 touchdown. Xavier Worthy had 2 touchdowns, so he might be getting back into form, warming up a little bit. I wonder how we scored we scored 31 points. So, Rudolph and Rudolph, he threw for 310 yards in that game. It's a preseason game, but still, he threw for 310. I'm guessing he played for a little while. So I guess giving him the start against Dallas helped, and I honestly think he's kind of proven himself. So I'm going to give him the start again against the Bucs. But if he doesn't play very well, then I think I'm actually going to maybe, I don't know. Let's just see what happens. So the Bucs are 0-2. We're 1-1. This is our final preseason game before the real deal. We play the Raiders in Week 1, so that'll be that won't be a difficult opponent for us in the first week. And we beat the Bucs 24-20. So let me see how the quarterbacks perform in this game. Okay, so Buccaneers box score. Okay, so in this game, Sam Howell had a better QB rating, which is what this is grading on. But Mason Rudolph threw for more yards. He did throw an interception. Howell did throw 1 touchdown, so he performed a little bit better. But it's still kind of neck and neck. And Jeremiah Love looks like he had his best game, albeit he only 32 yards. We had another rushing touchdown from Singletary. C.J. Ham had a touchdown. We had 1 receiving touchdown. Josh Reynolds had 163 yards. Not bad for our free agent acquisition right before the season. He had 1 touchdown. So not bad at all. Hopefully, that's a sign that Reynolds is going to be a decent boost to the receiving corps. So I think as far as the depth chart, I think I'm still going to go with Mason Rudolph. I think I'm going to go with him. I feel like that he's performed better in the preseason, and with the type of offense we have, with a rookie running back that's probably going to be up in the 80s and a decent receiving core that adds Josh Reynolds, who just had a 163 receiving yard game, albeit in a preseason game. I think that's going to be. I think the quarterback's going to be just fine. Go ahead and upgrade players. I wonder if I can upgrade one of the 2 backup QBs. Okay, no, we can't. We can just upgrade Nick Bolton. That's all we can do. Okay, all right then. Well, it is cut down day, so we have to cut 8 players and move 8 guys to the practice squad. Obviously, we're going to have to keep both of these quarterbacks until Mahomes comes back for sure. We do have a lot of running back. Well, not a lot of running backs, but we have 4 of them. I don't really know how much Bam Knight. Well, it's going to be a penalty if we cut him, so I'm not going to cut him. Or at least, I'm going to have to come back to him. We have 6 receivers. I'd like to keep 6 active during the season. But Billingstone, I'm going to move you to the practice squad. We're going to keep 3 tight ends active. I think that's fine. We don't have a whole lot of depth on the offensive line, so I'm really not looking to cut, I think, any of these guys, except, maybe Dunker. We drafted him. I'm going to risk moving him to the practice squad. I know he's 68 overall, but I'm going to risk it. We have a decent depth at defensive end. I feel like if I move Patrick Payne to the practice squad, he's going to get picked up, so I honestly kind of don't want to do that. Pickens is back from injury, so we at least got some depth back at defensive tackle to start the season. Cole Christensen. I'm just going to cut him. I know we only have 2 Mike linebackers now, but yeah. Bossa is a guy that has kind of a bright future, so I want to keep him if we can. We got 6 corners, strong safeties. We don't have a whole lot of depth. I think it's just somebody we're going to cut, even though it's going to be a penalty. For a penalty, okay, we're just going to do that. We're going to cut him. Still got to cut 2 guys, or wait, do we? No, we got to do 4 more. Oh man, this is going to be tough. I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and cut Brownlee. I know that only brings us to like 5 receivers, and you can always lose guys during the season, but I just worry that. Well, I'm going to risk putting Patrick Payton on the practice squad. I hope somebody doesn't pick him up, but I would not be surprised if that happens. I hate to cut Rosenblum after we just signed him, Rosebloom, but Boss is back from injury, so we're just going to have to get rid of him. I'll put this guy on the practice squad. Okay, well, that's the best we can do. I'm hoping definitely that Patrick Payton doesn't get picked up by anybody, but we'll see. I mean, he's right now 70, I think, overall, which is not bad for somebody being on the practice squad as a rookie, but we'll see. Let me go to the injury report and see what we're looking like. So it's still 1 to 3 weeks until Mahomes comes back. Morris is still out, and so is Loft. But these guys had the same timetable in terms of how long they're going to be injured. Okay. Well, we're in a bye week, which is the week before the regular season begins. So hopefully, there's more of a chance for guys to get healthy, be ready to go. All right, now we got to choose draft class, local file. Let's go with the 2027 full draft. Let's go with that class that I've used before. So that's what we're going with. Yeah, this is Levitt and everybody. Yeah, this is correct. All right. So let me go ahead and upgrade players while I'm at it. It looks like nobody got picked up from our practice squad, or else I would have seen it as the last thing. So, all right, now let me see what the injury report's looking like now. Week to week for Mahomes, week to week for Morris, and week to week for Norman Lott. Okay. So I'm guessing that for opening day, at least, we won't have Mahomes available for this one. So I'm actually not going to simulate to the middle of the season. I'm going to simulate just this first game. We're playing a Raiders team that is still in rebuilding mode. So even with Mason Rudolph as the starter, based on the offense that we have surrounding him, I feel like we can still get a win on opening day, even though we don't have Mahomes. Now, will it be ready the next week in week 2 against the Patriots? I don't know. And we did win our first game, and not only that, but we actually blew out the Raiders 38-10. So it's almost as if, whether we have Mahomes or anybody. But then again, we also have Andy Reid as our head coach, and everything is at 100%. So he's on another level. I mean, he's probably the highest overall coach in terms of, active coaches that you can be using in this game. So, like, as far as upgrades, there's upgrades that we can do, but you're basically just, like in the gym, you're toning tone, basically, if that makes any sense. I mean, we got an 86 overall offense. We're 86 overall. We got an 87 offense and an 85 defense. So, this team looks like it could be serious about getting back into contention. Injury report, the only one there is Kevin Byard. So, week 2, Mahomes is back. The best quarterback in the league is back, and he's ready to go. So he's finally coming back off the torn ACL for week 2 against the Patriots. Fortunately, against the Raiders, that was a good tune-up. But we're going against a Patriots team that is 1-0. So now we get a chance to really go. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mahomes is at maybe 99 overall. So starting out this season, finally off the torn ACL. Okay, he's not 99, but he's 95, which is still very, very good. So I'm going to simulate to the middle of the season with Mahomes now back in as the starter, and let's see where this team is at. And we have a lot of the other guys coming back that were injured as well. So let's see how we're doing in the first full year of the rebuild with the best quarterback in the league. 4-2. Okay, that's not too bad. A little bit surprised. I mean, 4-2 is still not a bad place to start. Let me see kind of how the schedule has been for us. So we started out the season 3-0. Mahomes came back, lit it up. We had a tough shootout against the Bills. We lost to the Dolphins on the road, and we lost to the Cardinals by 3 points. We came back and we beat the Broncos to get to 4 wins. So, we're kind of easing back into stuff, if you will. Let's go to delegate decisions. Okay, let's go ahead and go upgrade players. Let's take a look here and see where things are going. Looks like Lane, our rookie, is getting upgraded pretty well, so that's good. Let me go to the injury report. I want to see if anybody's banged up. Dana's banged up, high ankle sprain, week to week. Like I said, there's still some weaknesses. We got some guys that are starting that are in the 70s at some positions. But, this is a rebuild where you're basically starting out with the best quarterback in the league that was injured the previous year. So it's kind of a deal where he might be good enough, I'm talking about Mahomes, to kind of, camouflage some of the bad things. I mean, then again, a lot of people said that about the Chiefs this season in real life, even before they started losing a bunch of games towards the end of the season. I honestly feel like that game against my Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving kind of marked the beginning of the end for the season, whether Mahomes was going to play the rest of the season or not, because there was so much going wrong with the Chiefs this season. So, and I hope, next year Mahomes does bounce back and they get back into contention because, I know Mahomes has not had a significant injury like that. I mean, especially not when he played at Texas Tech. I would know that. He was banged up and everything, but he never tore his ACL. It's the first time he's done this in his career. So, I'm just hoping he'll be back in shape next year. Fortunately, we've got the Raiders this week. Not really intimidated by them, and we blew them out in week 1 without Mahomes as our starting quarterback. So that should be good. But let's get to the negotiating screen. I want to see whose contracts are up. We only have $2.9 million to work with, which isn't much. So obviously, I think I'm going to have to kind of come back to this. Trent McDuffie is up. So is Rashee Rice, who's our top receiver. I think Tranquil was kind of expensive, so I think I might just have to let him go and see about another will linebacker. All right, tackle, I feel like we can upgrade there. Fulton is our second best corner. If we don't get McDuffie to re-sign, then I think I'm going to try to get Fulton. And then the rest of these guys are really backups, so I'm not too worried about them. And a lot of these guys we signed just for depth at the beginning of the season, including like Rudolph and Dillard and some of these guys. The punter, the fullback, Xavier Worthy. Okay, well, we'll definitely pick up the fifth-year option like Xavier Worthy for sure, who's actually up to an 81. So maybe that makes Rashee Rice a tad bit expendable, but I don't want to. I want to try to keep this team together as long as Mahomes is still in the high 90s and our Super Bowl window is still open. So that's kind of the approach that I'm taking. Right, let's see about this game against the Raiders, see if we can get another win, go 2-0 against these guys. We lost to the Raiders. Come on. And we got the Chargers this week. So well, maybe we can bounce back against the Chargers. We're 5-3. They're 5-3. We're 4-3. So this kind of might be kind of a battle for first place early on in the division. We beat the Chargers, so we got back to our winning ways. How much did we beat them by? Oh, we actually beat them by 13. That's not bad. Standings-wise, we are first place in the AFC West. We beat the Broncos the first time this season, so we got the record ahead of them. But 3 teams already are close together at 5 wins. So it's kind of like it's going to be tight to win the division. No grades out. Our starting tight ends hurt. We do have other tight ends, including Stowers, who we draft out of Vanderbilt. So I think I'm gonna let things roll with him as our starting tight end. We want him to be the next Kelsey. So I think it's his time to do that. All right, we're playing against the 49ers, a rematch of the Super Bowl from 2023 in the regular season at Kansas City. So it should be kind of a tough one. I mean, the 49ers might be 4-4, but we're only one game better than them. So This might be a tough one, especially in the middle part of the season when we're trying to get some playoff positioning and try to establish distance in the division. Even though it's not a division game. We lost to the 49ers by 1 point. All right. That's another injury. Josh Simmons, left tackle, starting foot fracture, 4 to 8 weeks. Ugh. I think I might need to sign a left tackle. I have to get somebody potentially like off the practice squad from another team. Right, let's see about left tackles that are out here. Okay, we got Lamb here. All right, no real upgrades because we did sign another. I think we did sign another left tackle if I'm not mistaken. So let me go to the depth chart actually, because I think we signed another left tackle in free agency before the preseason. Yeah, okay. So Morris is 71. There's no real upgrades. So let's go with that. What's the other injury we have? Oh yeah, okay. Noah Gray still with me with an abdominal tear, but hopefully he'll be back. He's missed the last couple of games, including the 49ers, so hopefully he'll be back. We got a Monday night game against the Seahawks. As far as the division, we've slipped into second place behind the Broncos. I don't know when we play Denver again, but I would have to guess it's towards the end of the season at this rate, being already in week 11. That game could be pretty critical. I guess, if anything, I'm still trying to get playoffs. All right, so we beat the Seahawks by 3. Close game, but we got it done. We're 6-4. Simmons, Jeremiah Love's done for the season. Oh, goodness. Torn rotator cuff. Well, Jeremiah Love gets up to an 81 in his rookie season, but got to go on IR, dude. You're not going to be able to come back. All right, well, this is why we signed Devin Singletary. But, yeah, we're going to have to go out and sign a running back to help us out for the rest of the season. Hopefully there's maybe a former starter out there, somebody who's played for a few years that's available. If there is, let's go out and get him. All right. Man, it's a damn shame. Jeremiah Love is doing pretty well, too. Okay, Nick Chubb is still out here, and so is Gainwell. Which one do I go with? Kareem Hunt's here, but I don't want to bring him back. Let's bring in Nick Chubb. I know he's not a scheme fit guy. Let's bring him in. Nick Chubb, welcome to the team, and we're going to be expecting you to be the main guy for probably the rest of the season. As far as the depth chart, let me see what this does to our running back situation. So Nick Chubb automatically plugs in and becomes our best starter. I mean, him and Singletary, that's not a bad 1-2 punch, if you ask me. So that's not looking too bad. I don't think 24 is available for Nick Chubb, but maybe something in the 20s I can give him. I just want to, make him feel a little bit of appreciation for coming in and being the fill-in guy with our rookie sensation running back being done for the season. I'm going to give him 30, actually. So Nick Chubb is going to be our starting running back for the rest of the season at this point. I mean, it's not a bad replacement, but it's not a guy that's up to 82 overall. Now, fortunately, my plan was going into effect with Jeremiah Love developing very quickly. I mean, he started out the season at 78. By the middle of the season, he was up to an 82. By the end of the season, if he played, he probably would have been up to a mid-80s to high 80s guy. So, but getting Nick Chubb to be our starter for the rest of the season, I'm not too concerned about that. I mean, then again, this is kind of what the Chiefs have been through before. They've been through running back injuries, and then they kind of just find a way to navigate through those tough times, and they're able to just kind of plug and play guys in and just be able to kind of, ride Mahomes. I mean, as long as we got Mahomes, things can work out. All right, against the Rams, 4-6. And we beat the Rams. It was a close one, but we beat them. right, now we've got the Jets, who are, I guess, really looking like one of the worst teams in the league at 3-8. We're 7-4. We're one game behind the Broncos. I don't know when we play them next, but it's probably going to be in a few weeks, if I have to guess. I wonder if Nick Chubb... No. Okay. Well, Eli Stowers is being upgraded a little bit. He's getting a little bit better. So that's good, especially the guy that we're expecting to replace Kelsey. All right, we can't lose to the Jets. Please don't lose to the Jets. We lost to the Jets by 3. Oh, goodness. Well, we're still second place in our division. If we beat the Broncos, we might still have a chance, but we can't, drop too many more games. At least Noah Gray's back. Do we have any injuries? Is anybody banged up that I don't know about? Oh, we actually got a lot of guys banged up. Karloftis is banged up. Lott is hurt again. Simmons is still hurt. Love, of course, is on IR week to week for Pickens. So, yeah, our other 2 of our defensive tackles are still banged up. But that's why we signed that other guy for this situation. Go to Coach Central. We got 33 skill points, so upgrade Andy Reid a little bit. All right. Saints 4-8. 2 weeks against under 500 teams. We can't go 0-2 during this stretch, because that's just going to be a bad look, and it's a very bad look. Are we in the playoffs? We are as the 6th seed. Okay. But we can't, lose games and expect that by the time we get to the playoffs, everything will be okay. I mean, we've had Mahomes for this whole season except week 1, and I'm guessing he hasn't gotten hurt again. No, he hasn't. I mean, Pittman's banged up. But, Simmons is banged up still, but yeah. If we lose to the Chargers, that's probably going to be a problem. We did lose to the Chargers, and we've now slipped down to 3rd place in our division. We're not in the playoff picture. This isn't good. I'm not saying Jeremiah Love's injury derailed the season, but it was a downgrade. And we've got the Colts this week and the Broncos next week. We've lost 3 games in a row. 2 of them were to teams that were under 500 and probably still are under 500. So hopefully we can get on track this week against the Colts. We're 7-7. They're 8-6. We get a key win. Okay, that's great. Okay, we got a key win. We absolutely needed that. And we're first in our division. Oh, my goodness. Okay. And this game against... Okay. Oh, boy. Okay. This game against the Broncos, I know it's regular season, but I got to jump into this game. Because if we beat the Broncos, we might be able to win the division and, secure our spot fully in the playoffs. 4 seed is where we are right now. We're 8-7. If we beat the Broncos, we'll probably be able to win the division. Our only injury is, of course, Jeremiah Love. I got to jump in and play this game. Plus, it's actually been a while since I've actually played with Mahomes and Madden. I'm not going to lie. So I'm kind of looking forward to this. All right. Key game going on the road against the Broncos. We beat them handily the first time, but we've been in a little bit of a tailspin. We finally got back on track after a 3-game losing streak last week against the Colts. But I got to play this game in Mile High and find a way to beat the Broncos to get, hopefully, win the division. This game basically is for the division. We still have 1 week left, but we win this game, we win the AFC West. It's a damn shame that Bo Nix got hurt towards the end of the game against the Bills. That's crazy. And now they got to have Jarrett Stidham start in the AFC Championship game. Sean Payton's got his work cut out for him, but you know what? Sean Payton is a good coach. Somebody the Cowboys could definitely use. So, yeah. So Omar Norton-Lott gets the sack, and we stop them on 3rd down. All right, so now we've got a 1st and 10 situation here. I mentioned that Mahomes is my favorite player in the NFL. I might be a diehard true Dallas Cowboy fan, but my favorite player is Mahomes. Like I've said before, on my desk at work, I have a, Funko Pop figurine. And it's not Dak Prescott. It's...
and this one's going to wind up incomplete. That's one you'd think he'd be able to corral.
Catch the ball, please. Come on, Worthy. For the love of everything good. What the... Mahomes, what? I didn't mean to throw it low. Like, what is... That didn't make any sense. Somebody explain to me what just happened, and I will give you $50. No, just kidding. There's nobody in the chat. So unfortunately, we don't advance, and we give the ball right back to the Broncos. But we get the ball back. We stop them again on defense. Okay, can we just complete a pass?
First down throw, Mahomes.
All right, finally we got Rice. He had 67 receiving yards last week. But yeah, that's the figurine that's on my desk because he's my favorite player in the league. And I think he's the best quarterback in the league. You got a problem with me saying that? I don't know how you argue that any quarterback right now in the National Football League is better than Mahomes, even though he got hurt. I mean, he's pretty much already up to the level of Tom Brady when you look at how many Super Bowls he has. Like, he could not win another one, and, he would still get into the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's automatically Hall of Fame. He's got 3 Super Bowl rings. Most quarterbacks don't even get one of those. And he's probably the most dynamic quarterback I've seen play the game in a long time. I mean, he can do stuff that I've never seen that most quarterbacks don't do with throwing the football. Come on, Rice. There we go, Rice. There we go. Okay, now we got a good drive going. This is a vintage, Patrick Mahomes drive. Go up. Try to get through the hole a little bit and maybe pick up some more yards, but got sacked instead. Okay.
The end of a fairly evenly played opening quarter. 0-0 is the score. Greg and I back in Denver in just a moment.
All right, we got to finish this drive, though. It's a key regular season. I mean, it's basically for the division.
Patrick to throw.
All right. Okay, we need a lot more to pick this up.
Just a couple and sets up third down. To throw is Mahomes.
Come on, Pat. Got him. Go, Worthy, go. Touchdown, Xavier Worthy on the board. Let's go. Looks like the defense is holding up. It's already the third quarter. Nobody else has scored. All right, then. All right, we're going to try the screen. The Chubb. Oh, Nick. All right, decent run.
Looks like we have an injury
Catch.
for one of the Chiefs.
Let's go.
Now it's 2nd and 1.
If anything, Nick Chubb has that, veteran presence at this point of his career. In the 2026, he's been through a lot, so. This guy banged up again. All right, it's 3rd down and 1. We got to pick this up. Finish this drive. Oh, good. Perfect blocking. Nick Chubb right through the hole. Touchdown, Chiefs. Perfect. Now we got some distance between us and Denver. All right, we got another offensive drive here. Another 3rd down, 20.
On 3rd and 1, here's Mahomes.
Oh, perfect. Go, Worthy. Use that sprinter speed inside the 5. Nice. That's the end of the 3rd quarter, starting up the 4th quarter. We got a 1st and goal situation that was set up by Worthy. Running the ball might not be the best idea here because they had that line pretty stacked, but it gets us down to the 1 yard. So.
Couldn't reach that ball across, setting up
run it again.
And goal. Here now, 2nd down and goal.
We got Singletary in the game now.
Singletary.
Didn't quite get in there. I think I'm crazy for running it 3 times in a row, but that needs to come back. You got the ball on the 1 yard line. Put your big bodies up there. Try to get pound your way in just like we did there. Singletary, touchdown, up 21-0. We're blowing out the Broncos in this game. This game is basically over, and we're in field goal range already. So if we score any kind of points here, I think this game's out of reach. Singletary gets us down inside the 1. I feel like Chubb is probably banged up if Singletary's getting both of the carries here. That's why we signed him, for insurance purposes. Singletary gets in, gets his second rushing touchdown of the game, and we're just running all over the Broncos. At 28-0. This game wasn't even close. Denver's offense didn't put up a fight. Our defense shut them down.
Now or never, they'll throw on 4th down.
Incomplete, turnover on downs. Good coverage by Bolt. It's 3rd and 7. Running it, but we're trying to show good sportsmanship here. We're just trying to get the win. I'm glad I jumped in and played this game because, like I said, I feel like this game is for the division. We win this game, we'll win the AFC West. No matter what happens next week. I wish we could have gotten more yards. We punted the ball. The game is over. So we shut out the Broncos in Denver 28-0. I was not expecting this game to be as much of a blowout as it was. But our running game looked pretty good. Singletary had 2 touchdowns. Chubb had 1, and Mahomes had 1 passing TD to Xavier Worthy, who had a pretty good game. So we made the key plays in the key moments and got the win, and it's a big win. So we sweep the Broncos, who's the only other team capable of catching the division. So, I got a feeling that that actually put the Chargers in 2nd place. So I feel like we've kind of all but clinched our division. We still are the 4th seed. No other team from the AFC West is even in the playoff picture right now. So I got a feeling that win over Denver pretty much, clinched it for us. Witherspoon's out 1 in 3 weeks. So that's the only other injury that we have to worry about. All right, let's advance through the final week of the regular season in the Bengals game. They're in the playoffs. We're not really battling for, if we lose, but the Chargers win, maybe there's a scenario where we could lose the division. But I don't think that'll happen. Oh, yeah. We beat the Bengals, so we definitely secured the AFC West. No other team, it looks like, from that division made the postseason. So let's take a look at the playoff bracket. So year 2, we're in the playoffs, and we actually have the 3rd seed. No other team from the AFC West qualified. So that win over Denver, like I kind of suspected, all but clinched the division for us. So back in the postseason with Mahomes in the driver's seat. We have a new injury, though. We have Simmons out 2 to 4 weeks. He's constantly getting banged up. And Witherspoon is, of course, still week to week, so he might be back, I guess, for the next round of the playoffs. But we also have Morris as our left tackle, who's performed serviceably at times. So I'm not going to get too anxious about it. All right, let's go to abilities. Go ahead and start spinning those points. I feel like I'm going to get Andy Reid maxed out before we know it. Oh, no, we don't have enough points. We only have 21 points. Okay, we'll save those for the next upgrades that we get. Look, Andy Reid is, 100% as, with our whole staff. So, we're at the controls of him, so I'm not too concerned about that. And we actually get a home playoff game against the Patriots. So that's pretty key. Then again, being the 3rd seed, you're not going to have home field advantage and maybe after the wild card round at that particular point. So, but this is going to be pretty big. So fortunately, the season has kind of progressed the way that I expected, at least in the regular season. Mahomes is back. The offense is pretty much back to normal. It would have been nice if Jeremiah Love didn't get hurt, so that way I could have seen this team at full strength. But, if we don't win the Super Bowl this season, hopefully next season Jeremiah Love is going to be able to come back. He'll be in the mid-80s, and we've, fully secured our running back of the future in drafting him in the 1st round this past offseason. So that's what I'm hoping for. And, we got some players to make decisions about. really, to me, it's McDuffie and Tranquil that I feel like we got to make decisions about in the offseason in terms of our players. So, and Rashid Rice, I got to throw him in the mix as well because he is rated as our top receiver. But if Xavier Worthy's stats look better, then I'm going to think that, maybe it's time for Worthy to be the main guy. And then maybe we could find a guy that's, a little bit older and isn't going to cost us as much in the offseason. Or, we could trade for somebody. But we'll see. I mean, we still got, the playoffs and, we're back in the postseason. So with Mahomes back in the driver's seat, we're back to being contenders in the AFC and for the Super Bowl once again, especially being the third seed in the AFC. So we're looking forward to getting in the playoffs with Mahomes and trying to go on the road to getting his fourth Super Bowl. Because I think that's because he's only won 3 of them. He's lost 2 of them. So trying to get that Super Bowl and end this rebuild in hopefully just 2 seasons, but might maybe see if it really did just take one off season to win a championship with this roster that was kind of already set up. So that's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see what happens. I'm sorry I haven't been as consistent lately about uploading videos and all that kind of stuff. As far as I'm not really going to get into too many details, but there's been kind of a lot of things that have been on my mind during my days off, which, as you guys know, my schedule at work is weird. I work Wednesday through Sundays at my job, and there's some things going on. There's some moving pieces. There's some changes and everything. So it's just kind of a deal where, there's been a lot of time that I've had to do some self-reflection a little bit and try to figure some things out. But I'm not going to get into those details on here. That's why I play games, and it's to distract me. All right, so let's get ready for the playoffs. Let's go ahead and play the moments against the Patriots. We're at Arrowhead. There we go. I don't know who those guys are, but they're pounding the drum. And it's a night game, too.
Chiefs going up to the line here. It's 1st and 10. They fake the handoff. Now Mahomes.
All right. Here we go. We got Noah Gray.
He's going to be brought down right at the 35.
For the first down of the game.
1st and 10. Now the first carry for Nick Chubb.
Here we go, Nick. A little bit of power football there.
Get some 6 before the stop is made. 7 yards on that last play, so this is 2nd and 3. Out of the gun, it's Mahomes.
Go, Mahomes, go. Slide. There we go.
Perfect. He's going to dodge a hit with that slide after he picks up enough for the first down. So a new set of downs. Here we go, 1st and 10. Pressure coming for Mahomes. This time they're going to get to him before they can get that pass away as he goes down. Offense needs to shake off that sack in a hurry as they get ready for 2nd down and 13. Operating from the gun, here's Mahomes.
Oh, Rice, good catch. Oh, he got sandwiched there, but he still got close to the first. Still made a great catch. Come on, Ham. And fourth. All right, let me go for it, Coach. Yeah, let me go for it, Coach. Let me go for it, Coach.
Don't want to punt from here, but too far for a field goal as well. I'm going for it here. They're going to run for it. And his short game gets them a new set of downs. Their opening drive continues.
We're going to pick up the first. That's it. You don't have to get too fancy, but you also have to throw the football.
It's a sack on 1st down.
Ugh, that was
bad
duty right there. Bad sack.
From the gun, it's Mahomes.
Great. Oh, he got the first. Let's go. Second catch on the squad, I think.
Offense getting set. Here's 1st and 10.
Timeout. I don't know why he didn't go.
Timeout called by Andy Reid. And after using an early one, 2 left for him to spend. Now their opening drive certainly going according to plan, Brock. It's a new set of downs at the 27. Throwing on first down.
Oh, man.
Holding up. They're able to drop it.
This pass rush is relented for the Patriots.
So far brings up second down. Looking to throw Mahomes.
Almost through.
Back-to-back passes that should have been intercepted. 2 great chances to take it away. Both of them dropped, Brock, and now they stay out there for third down.
Worthy? Oh, what a catch. Let's go. And Mahomes is getting drilled as he threw. And that's drive basically took him the whole first quarter. This is a long, long drive. This is definitely taking up everything. Patriots offense got on the field.
Back to Arrowhead in just a moment. Second quarter about to get underway, and an opportunity to score here for the Chiefs.
Coach up, go. Dive! Oh, down to the one. Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. We gotta finish this drive. Come on. Touchdown, Nick Chubb. On the board first. That's what we like. All right, we got third down and 6. Defense rise to the occasion. 16 off the field. Just go cover.
To the air on third and long.
Ooh, that was a low throw by May. I don't know what that was about. Patriots do get a field goal. Stop them again. Oh, they got the ball. Third down and 8. Another third down by the third quarter. This is a low-scoring game.
Action on the last play. Now it's third down. Third and long for him here.
Oh, get May. Oh, we got a pick. Let's go. Fulton, house it. Touchdown. Fulton on the pick 6. Let's go. There's the manure punt. Chance to return this one. 14-3.
He's got it at the 24. And he gets his guys a few yards before they bring him down.
Not really much going, but still.
Andy Reid getting his Chiefs offense ready to go for a new series. They were only on the field for 3 plays their prior series, Brock. Let's go.
Oh, it's the fourth quarter. Patriots got the ball.
Keep this drive moving.
Okay, we're getting kind of
first and 10.
Things are getting kind of tight here.
In the red zone on first.
Oh no!
Setting up the screen here for Gibson.
Make the tackle. Thank you. Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Here's May again.
That didn't work at all, and the Patriots have the lead for the first time. Oh boy. All right.
Following that little 2-yard run, it's 2nd and 8.
Rice.
And he's down. Looks like they made the stop at the 46-yard line. They've got 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning left for them. We've got first and 10. That's him on the quick hitter.
Oh, almost broke that.
And they're going to get to him after a gain of close to 5 as they send him out. All right, one more snap here before our 2-minute warning.
A 6-yard pickup.
Here's Chubb on second down.
Go Chubb. Good bounce out. First, there we go. All right.
That takes us to the 2-minute
okay.
Here in KC. Chiefs trail by a field goal. You've set it down for
not going to pass it.
Here he is to throw.
I want to aggressive as I can and
he stopped just before you
try to get a touchdown. I'm going to let that tick just a little bit.
We've heard it said, and I believe it to my core. Football is the ultimate team sport.
I'm going to leave the Patriots time to do it. We have to go for the field goal and score the Texas again.
He stopped him just in time. He got back to the line, but denied the yard they needed. Third down coming up. On third down, they'll go with Chubb.
It's 4th and 8. All right, I got the ball.
They hold strong there in the middle, get him down right at the line. 4th down coming up. The Chiefs signal for a timeout. That's going to be their first. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game. The entire season has led them here to this snap. They have to convert here on 4th down.
I shouldn't have done that.
It's off the field. They had to go for it. Defense knew it was coming. That's a turnover on downs.
I just absolutely blew the game. We just kicked the field goal.
On the ground with Henderson. Small gain there, maybe 3 if he's lucky to begin this drive. Timeout taken by Kansas City. It's 2nd. They'll come up after that 4-yard gain. It's 2nd and 6. They're going to pass it here. Falls to the
what the?
left, incomplete. Not on the same page with his tight end. And now it's 3rd down. Back to throw.
Sack. It's 4th down. They're going to have to punt this. Okay, this time around, if we get in field goal range, we're just going to kick it. We're not messing around. I can't believe they were trying to throw the ball in that situation. You're up by 3 points. Just run the ball. It's over.
The return begins on their side of midfield.
Oh, I thought he fumbled it. Okay, all right. We don't have to go that far to get in the field goal range, but we absolutely need to.
The 47. The Kansas City offense set to take the field. They passed on the field goal, didn't get it on 4th down. Interested to see what they do if a similar situation arises on this next possession.
All right, spike the ball. Spike the ball. Spike.
Down to 21 seconds after he spikes
Okay, I think we can run probably one more play.
2nd and 10. Need something positive here.
Let's kick the field goal. Let's go to overtime.
Setting up to pass.
Lane gets out of bounds. Okay, we don't even have to spike the ball.
He's going to be out of bounds. Looks like a yard.
17 seconds. Let's kick it.
Harrison Butker out now. He knows how big this
All right, yeah, they're going to call a timeout to ice
Timeout
man.
taken by the Patriots. They're 1st to 3. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game.
I didn't want to have to go to overtime in the first playoff game, but here
The
we are.
Chiefs bring on Harrison Butker for the field goal. It's 44 yards here from the left half.
All right, and it is good. And barring anything crazy, we're going to go to overtime. It's definitely been an exciting game.
I don't think that's the amount that they were looking for there, Kate. Going to lead to some shuffling around.
I can't believe the Patriots were trying to throw the football on that almost so quick on that final drive, because if they just run the football, game's over.
He was defended by Marcus Jones.
Now throw, 3rd and long. That one is
Wait,
incomplete.
that's the interference. All right, well.
The Chiefs bringing out their punt team.
The
It'll
defense
be
holds.
Corey Bajorquez doing the honors.
Yeah, that.
Here's Newell.
3rd and 10. They pick up one more first down. I think at this point, all they need is a field goal.
Here he goes, 3rd and long.
Did he seriously? Oh my gosh! Oh gosh!
Give him 25 on that play.
Ice.
And the Patriots will have a 1st down.
Man.
Timeout taken by Kansas City. It's 2nd. As they'll be left with just one more to work with here in OT.
1st down, New England.
This is it. We kick it, we lose in overtime.
Big moment here for Andres Borregales. This from 35 yards away.
A 35-yard attempt.
It's good.
Borregales connects. And they've taken back the lead.
That's why they spend all the time on the practice field during the week. That kind of operation. Perfect rhythm, perfect timing, and a 2-for-2.
So we lose in overtime to the Patriots in year 2.
And you never
offensively, I mean, it just seemed like that we were just struggling. Holmes had 166 yards, threw an interception, threw no touchdowns. Yeah. Rough first season back with Mahomes, so. Well, I mean, we had kind of an up and down season anyway. Does the season go differently if we have Jeremiah Love available the whole season? Maybe. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. See if any of the Chiefs make the Pro Bowl team and maybe see where we go from here. At least Mahomes proved he's still capable of getting a team back to contention. All right, let's go to the Pro Bowl roster. Mahomes did make the Pro Bowl coming back this year. Did anybody else? Rasheed Rice made it. Okay, you know what? Rice made it. We're going to try to get him back. Noah Gray also made the Pro Bowl. All right. Creed Humphrey made it. So we got a good number of Chiefs. Trey Smith, he made it. Chris Jones, he made it. Drew Tranquill made it. Okay. McDuffie, he made it. That's it. All right, we had quite a few guys make it this year, so I'll take it. Go ahead and upgrade Andy Reid. All right, yeah, 3 points there. So let's advance to Super Bowl week. See what happens for the rest of the playoffs. So let's see what happens. So the Colts, they actually went on the road and beat the number 2 seeded Ravens 45-31. We lost, of course, to the Patriots in overtime. And look at this. The Bengals went on the road and they beat the Titans. So all the road teams won in the wild card round in the AFC. Bills, they beat the Colts, and then the Bengals beat the Patriots, and then it was the Bengals defeating the Bills. So it's the Bills against the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Bucks, they beat the Cowboys. The Seahawks beat the Commanders, and then the Packers went on the road and beat the number 2 seeded Detroit Lions, and the Eagles then beat the Packers. Seahawks shut out the Bucks 17-0, and then it was the Seahawks beating the Eagles on the road at Lincoln Financial Field to get to the Super Bowl. So there we go. Seattle, I think, is in their 4th Super Bowl, first since the Legion of Boom era. Let's check out yearly awards. MVP goes to Joe Burrow. Mahomes finished 3rd. Coach of the Year, Andy Reid is not on this list. Offensive Player of the Year, Rasheed Rice actually finished 3rd. Mahomes finished 9th. Defensive Player of the Year, Chris Jones finished 4th. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jeremiah Love finished 9th, despite only playing the first half of the season. So he's on the up and up. I mean, that's going to end up being a good draft pick for us. Best QB, Mahomes finished 3rd. Best running back, Love didn't make the cut. Best wide receiver, Rasheed Rice finished 2nd behind Eric Singleton Jr. Don't know who that is. Creed Humphrey finished for best offensive lineman in the AFC, so he did win an award. Best defensive lineman, Chris Jones, finished 4th on that list. Best linebacker, Tranquill, actually finished 2nd. That was it. Best DB, McDuffie finished 5th. Connor finished 7th. Best kicker, nobody. Okay, all right. All right, so let's take a look at what happened in the Super Bowl. The Bengals beat the Seahawks, so the Bengals have won their first championship. The MVP goes to Joe Burrow, so finally Joe Burrow gets the Bengals over the hump and wins them a championship. Those are all the award winners off to the right side of your screen. So let's check out the retirements. Let's see if we had anybody from the Chiefs retire this season. We have a few. Witherspoon is retiring after 10 years, and Florenzo Fatuski is retiring after 9 years. Those are 2 free agent guys that we picked up. So, yeah. So, let me go ahead and upgrade these guys. There's a part of me that is thinking about maybe I think honestly I might need to upgrade our coaching staff. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know if I can actually do that at this point, but let me see. Advance. Next week, staff week. Okay, coaching carousel, staff management. Okay, fire staff member. So I'm debating about whether I want to fire our offensive and defensive coordinators. They both have an approval rating that's kind of bad, and kind of honestly want to change this up. So I'm going to fire both of them. This might be a bad idea, but I'm going to fire both of them. Okay, view available staff. Got like the most unlocked. Nick Walters doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna hire him as our OC. All right. Defensive coordinator. Okay, here we are. Lynn Wagner, pretty solid. I'm gonna hire him. All right. So we've changed the coaching staff up. I mean, I don't know how much help that's going to do, but I think it's worth trying, you know, especially because we can't expect to lose in the first round of the playoffs again, and maybe there's some readjusting that just needs to happen. Okay, so let's go ahead and advance to next week. So now we got to get down to the negotiating part of this, and we're in the whole minus. Yeah, we gotta definitely manage some of these players' contracts. We have $8.42 million to restructure Humphrey. Mahomes has 5 years left on his contract. Free up $41.3 million if we restructure him. That'll help tremendously. Chris Smith, that'll free up $11.2 million. Chris Jones. Although I got to be honest, I feel like that maybe in a year or two he's going to retire. So even when he gets towards the end of it, I don't know if it's worth it to bring him back. Leo Chanel. This is a guy that we overpaid for, in my opinion, when we gave him a new contract. But Sam linebackers of his caliber are very rare in this game, so I figured it would be worth it. George Karlaftis, free up $7 million. A lot of these guys are on long contracts, so there's a lot of wiggle room for them in terms of being able to restructure them. Same for Butker, $80K. Free up by restructuring him. Love's on a rookie deal still. Yeah, we can't restructure him right now, probably. Okay. Let's go position by position here. This guy Anthony Clayton. I think I'm just going to cut him. We're going to have to sign a new fullback. We're going to pick up the fifth-year option on Worthy for sure. Some of these receivers I think are probably just not worth keeping. So, yeah, I think Green, Barron. I'm just going to cut these guys. Bringstole. He really hasn't developed into a tight end that you really expect. I think Wiley and Stowers are better along with Gray, so. That's Simmons. Can we restructure him? Yep. He is getting banged up a lot, but 81 overall is not bad for a left tackle. Could get better in some of these positions, but the question is, I mean, how much are we realistically going to be able to free up with all these restructuring of contracts? All right, Trey Smith has already been restructured. I forgot I did that already. It's Dunker. He's somebody we drafted, so I don't want to give up on him just yet. $20K if we restructure Gilate. That's what how you say his name. All right, Peyton. Fortunately, nobody claimed him off of our practice squad, so that's good. Let's restructure him. A lot. We got 140K. I mean, he got banged up a lot this year too, and honestly, Pickens, you were getting banged up a lot too, and I don't think you're worth keeping. So I'm just going to cut you. James Harrison Huntley. Random guy with no face. Bolton and McDonald. I think are both worth it. Asa. Can't restructure him. So yeah. All right. Hopefully with what we've been able to do with restructuring all these contracts, especially Mahomes again. I mean, that freed up $41 million. That was the most they got freed up by what we did. So let me see. How many corners do we have right now on the roster? We're going to lose. So I'm thinking that I'm going to let Fulton probably walk. I know he had a pick six in the playoff game, but I'm going to cut Carlos Johnson, one of these corners, keep the rest of them just on the roster for now. Byers still has 1 year left on his contract. Dent, I'm just going to go ahead and release him. I don't think it's worth keeping. Strong free safety isn't really worth it. We could use help with strong safety because I feel like Byard, even at 79 overall, is not anything too great. All right, so now we have $88 million with what we were able to do. First things first, let's go over to Xavier Worthy and let's pick up the 5th year option on him. Or can we can we not do that? Let's go. Oh yeah, accept the 5th year option on Worthy. Took care of that. Okay, so we got Xavier Worthy definitely locked in for next year. 84 overall. So now we can take a look at the rest of the guys. Duffy. It's going to be quite a bit, but he's excited to sign for that. Brings us down to $61 million. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. Got Rashee Rice. Now we're down to $39 million. Tranquil wants 2 years. Drops down to 26 now, but I think that's the best that we could do. I think everybody else, we're just going to have to let him walk. We can do the point later. So we were able to re-sign the big three that I was really looking to do. I'm actually going to go ahead and restructure those contracts before we get knee-deep in free agency to be able to free up even more money. McDuffie, on a fresh new 4-year contract, and we're going to restructure you. It's kind of good that you can restructure contracts even after you give them out. Otherwise, we'd be in salary cap hell. It's hard to keep a team together if you're doing a franchise and a rebuild realistically. And believe me, I want to play realistic here. So, yeah. All right. Rice, Worthy. That's 5th year. but we can restructure. That'll help us out. Xavier Worthy. Tranquil on the new 2-year deal. So we'll definitely be locked in for 2 more years, which is good. So our linebacking core, I want to try to keep it together as best as I can, as long as I can, because I feel like that we only have a certain window that we can do with all these guys. So yeah. So let's go to free agency and now see how much room. Okay, we got $39.6 million to spend, which isn't bad. So now it's all about going through and seeing what we need to improve in through free agency. Okay, so Singletary's still going to be here, and Brashard Smith, actually, who we drafted a couple of years ago, has actually gotten a little bit better, so he could be a serviceable backup. We do need a new fullback. We have 2 high 80s receivers. I don't think there'll be a guy in the 90s available. Lane's already up to an 81, so he's actually developing pretty well. We could use another receiver, maybe a veteran guy that isn't going to be too costly. Noah Gray in his first year as a starter progressed. He's up to an 81. Stowers got a little bit better, but he's not turned the corner just yet. So another tight end that's like really good. If there is anybody, might not be bad. If there's an 80 left guard, I might have to look at that. We do need some depth on the offensive line. Right tackle, absolutely, we need to address there. Edge rusher, we let Dana walk. We need to upgrade that. We have all of our linebackers in the 80s. We just need depth at Sam linebacker. McDuffie 97, excuse me. Williams. McMillan is still here for 1 more year. Roland, Bonds, Barry Bonds. There's a corner that's in the 80s, yes. Byard is still in 80, and we definitely need an upgraded strong safety, and we also need a kicker and punter. No, not a kicker. We just need a punter. All right, so let's see who's out here. At least in the top 100. And look, oh my goodness, right off the bat, we got a right tackle. It's 84 overall. I feel like I got to go after McNeil. How much is that going to drop us down to 18? But it puts us above everybody else. But I think it's worth it. We still have enough to spend on some backup players. So, and he's actually interested in coming to Kansas City, so that helps out a lot. Brown, that would just be depth. I really don't think we need that with Jeremiah Love, so I'm not going to really bother with that too much. We need a new fullback. Bring in somebody who's not going to be too costly. Let's go ahead and go with British Brooks. Team-friendly 1-year deal. I don't think anybody's really offering him too much, so yeah, we should be able to afford that easily. What about receivers? Are there any decent receivers that could help to fit our scheme? Not a lot. I mean, there's some, but we'd have to pay, quite a bit for them. And Dawson Knox wouldn't be bad for depth, but I don't really think that would be entirely worth it. Jacob Martin, I think that'd be a serviceable idea. Try to get him on a 1-year deal. Actually, try to get a team-friendly deal. 1 year. Nobody's offering him, so take advantage. Are there any corners that are in the 80s that are available? I know Dean was the top guy. Kenny Moore's out there. Jair Alexander wouldn't be too bad of an option. But how much would he really want? This would kind of take us down a little bit. Yeah, down to 1 million. You know what? Let's go with a team-friendly deal for 1 year. I mean, he's at the back of his career. He only wants a 1-year deal from anybody, so not too shabby. Okay, well, strong safeties. There's really no really big upgrades there. We need a punter. Let's see if we can get Ethan Evans on a team-friendly deal. Yeah, don't have enough salary cap to make the offer. Okay, all right. First wave of free agency. We're going after Brian O'Neill. He's the big splash we're trying to get, basically trying to solidify our right tackle spot. Jair Alexander would be cornerback depth, veteran presence. Jacob Martin would be basically a plug-in starting right edge rusher, and British Brooks would be our starting fullback. So that's what we're going with. We're throwing a lot at O'Neal, but I want to get that right guard position solidified. All right. Oh, not retirements. All right. Did we land? We got Brian O'Neal. Awesome. We got Alexander, and we got Brooks. Jacob Martin is still considering us. Let me go and see what positions unfortunately, we're not really going to be able to do too much because we don't have a whole lot left. So you could probably actually go ahead and restructure O'Neal, even though we just signed him. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have 5.01 million, so yeah. But that's a huge upgrade at right tackle spot. I mean, he's a veteran guy, 31 years old, so we've got him for the next couple of years. Jennings Dunker, I'm not ready for him to be a starter in there yet. So yeah. Let me see what Brian O'Neal's number is. Brian O'Neal's number, let's see. He wears 75 with the Minnesota Vikings, but I think 75 is already taken by somebody in the starter, so maybe not. Maybe I can actually give him 75. No, I can't. Okay, discard changes. Maybe a defensive player has 75. Jared Hensey Hunt, I don't know who that is. But I'm going to change his number. Probably something random, but change his number 78. Okay. All right. Oh, whoops. He's not 74. He's 75. Ugh. This is looking a little sloppy here. All right. All right. That's pretty big for us to get, O'Neal to solidify the right tackle spot. So now on the offensive line, we got a 93, we got a 96, 79, and an 81. So our offensive line is looking better, especially right tackle spot. Because on the right side of the offensive line, I really like the Patriots. We're getting Mahomes a ton in that game. So hopefully that addresses some of those problems. Now, unfortunately, because we did what we did, we can't really spend too much. Can't really spend anything elsewhere. Getting Alexander, that's pretty much seals it. Let me see what Jair. I know he plays with the Patriots, or no, the Ravens. Excuse me. I know he's wearing 23 mostly. We're like 18, yes, 23 with the Ravens again. Lieutenant Louisville. We're 18, it looks like, with the Eagles. I don't know if I can give them that, but let's see. I just got to go with 27. That's okay, too. I mean, Alexander is not a big splash corner move, but he's at least going to have some veteran presence there. And that's really all I was looking for with him. And he's only on a one-year deal anyway, and it's a cheap deal. But he is right now an 80. It definitely helps with cornerback depth at least a little bit. And he's also a scheme fit guy. So we got Byard, we got Hicks, who's 74. We do need some depth, but I don't think I can afford any depth based on our situation. So, and also everybody else that we signed was only, I don't think, one-year deals, so we can't really restructure anybody. Well, actually, you know what? We actually just freed up some money, so we might be able to afford some of those. Now we're up 6.4 million. We actually landed one of the top two free agents that was on the market. So, go us! Let's see, who did we sign already? Okay, we didn't get the punter, did we? Yeah, no, we did. We need to get a punter. Oh yeah, we need a punter. Yes, we were trying to get Evans, but we didn't have enough to do that. So now we do. Okay, so we get Evans. Now we need to probably find maybe. I think we can afford 1 to 2 backup offensive linemen. Let's see. Let me see what backup spots we need filled. We need a few: left tackle, left guard, right guard. All right, let's just worry about the guards, I guess. Depending on who's there. Spencer Anderson, that's probably somebody we can afford. What does that bring us down to? Okay. 2.14. Jared Thomas doesn't look too shabby. Let's go with him, Jared Thomas. Back up guard. Okay, and that's probably the best that we could do. So we got Evans, punter. We're still going in on Martin. I'm pretty sure he'll still sign. Going after some depth with Spencer Anderson and Jared Thomas for the offensive line. I think that's the best that we can do. I know we still need depth at some of the other positions. Like, let's see, I think on defense. Sam linebacker and strong safety. All right, let's see if we were able to sign everybody we targeted. All right, looks like we did. We got Evans to be our new punter. Martin is signing with us. So is Anderson and Jared Thomas. Cool. Yeah, Martin actually is looking like an 81 here, so he's definitely an upgrade. Let me see what his number is. Looks like he wears 55, and he's worn 54. Let's see if 55 is available. I don't think it is. Yeah. And I don't think 54 is either. Yeah. Let's give him 53. It's decent. So we need a backup Sam linebacker. We need a strong safety for a backup. But in the draft, I mean, we still got to go with, like I always go with BPA. So we'll see what the mock draft expects from us. I really would like to get maybe one more receiver in the draft, maybe in the second round. I think as far as positions, I mean, if there's a decent left guard out there in the draft, I think, yeah. Backup defensive tackle might not be too bad considering the age of Chris Jones. If there's a Sam linebacker, maybe a Will linebacker. Strong safety I think is the weakest position right now that we have in terms of who our projected starter is. If there's a strong safety out there that looks pretty decent, I think that's the move. So we're done with free agency. We're going to go ahead and get into mock draft season and take a look at what they expect from us. All right, so let's go to Scout College Players. Let's go to mock drafts. Let's go to mock draft 5. We're going to be kind of low here, so we have the 20th pick. They want us to take Nate Frazier, a running back from Georgia. I mean, we don't need another running back. We have Jeremiah Love. I mean, this free safety Trey Miguel is projected. So is Coy Parrish from Minnesota, but we don't need a free safety. We need a strong safety. I guess is there a strong safety that's projected to go like earlier than that in the first round before us? Guess not. Jeremiah Smith projected to go at number 1 of the Texans. All right, well, kind of a weird setup here, but hopefully there'll be a decent strong safety somewhere in this draft. Hopefully. All right, well, let's get going.
Welcome to the end.
All right. So we have our 20th pick here. I mean, Trey Miguel's there. I mean, but you know, he's not a scheme fit guy, but I think he's. Or we could get Cam Coleman. We can get another receiver. I talked about wanting to get another receiver. But you know what? Let's go with Trey Miguel. But I want to see if maybe he could also potentially play strong safety. All right, they're giving that one an A. And I wanted to get, you know, the best guy on the board. So he was the best guy on the board, and we took him. All right. So T.J. Moore is also here. We need a backup will linebacker anyway. I mean, Jack Stockton might not be a bad idea. So I'm going to go with Jack Stockton. I don't know if he's a real player. He probably isn't. So they're giving that one a B+. All right, 3rd round pick. Yeah, I think we need to get we need to go after receiver. Jalen Moss from Fresno State. Doesn't look too shabby. Let's go with him. Okay, they're giving that one a B-. All right. There's defensive tackle and edge rusher that are pretty high on here. I mean, we could use some depth at both of the positions. You know what? We need to get some defensive tackles in here to get behind Chris Jones and learn from him. So I'm going to go with Carlos Espinoza from Washington. I'm saying that's a bad pick, though. We might have drafted a bust as a potential Chris Jones replacement, but we'll see. There's some receivers that are not looking too bad. We do need a backup left tackle. Arnold Miller from Northern Illinois. Yeah. Well, they're giving that one a bad grade. I'm going to go with, you know, maybe, I think Matthew Springs, left edge rusher from Clemson. Go with him. Average pick, so that's better than the other picks that we've had recently, so that's nice. Another 6th round pick here. Yeah, we could use, okay, I was kind of hoping that right tackle would still be there, and we need some depth, so let's go with K.J. Andrews. Bad pick. Woof. So I'm hitting on some of these, but most of these I feel like I'm not. So let's take a look at our draft recap here. Now, the 1st round pick, Trey Miguel, and he's an 88 overall starting out with. Wow, that's pretty good. The lowest rated guy we drafted was Arnold Miller, a left tackle who's 62 overall. So. And like I said, I want to see if Trey Miguel maybe could also play strong safety. Because, okay, well, he actually is better than Byard. So, if Byard moves to strong safety, what does that make him? Is he still like an 80-something, or does his overall drop? I want to test that. And I want to try to put the best guys at the position on the field. Because Trey Miguel being an 88 as a first-round pick, all right, yeah, Byard is also still good as a strong safety. It could be his last year, too. So yeah, now we've got, so we were able to upgrade our strong safety position after all. But getting Trey Miguel from South Alabama, let's see, I don't really know much about this guy. Trey Miguel, South Alabama. Is he? He's not a real player. Okay, well, that's fine. So he's rocking number 0, but hey, coming in at an 88 overall, that's a steal right there. We might have found a very strong franchise safety with that pick. So I like the look of that. I don't think we didn't draft any corners this year. I know we drafted, I think, a will linebacker. We drafted a Jack Stockton. I don't think he's a real player, so I'm not even going to bother with the jersey number. I mean, if Tranquil, might have to leave in a year or two, so yeah. I'm going to see if maybe I can move potentially Bossa over to a will linebacker. I want to see if I can maybe do that. Or Sam linebacker, I should say. And the reason I want to do that is for depth, because we weren't able to draft another Sam linebacker to go behind him. Okay, it just makes him a 70. That's not too bad. Carlos Espinoza coming in at a 64 overall. Definitely not the future starter that we projected, especially with Chris Jones possibly going into his last season. Now, Patrick Payton, of course, was somebody who, we have expectations for. I'm going to give him his number 6 back because it looks like he got taken away, but that's really because of the practice squad kind of rules, because he was on the practice squad and then, he comes back to the actual roster. He did get better, though, even though we didn't play. He started out as a 70, now he's a 72. So he has progressed. Not a lot, but he has progressed. Matthew Springs, 66 overall. So we got 2 guys at 66 for left edge rusher backups. KJ Andrews coming in at 63 doesn't really do too much for me in terms of move the needle. I think we've got depth at every position now. On the offensive line, we do, so that's good. We at least took care of that. Our tight end room, I'm still holding out hope that Stowers is going to get better. We have 6 receivers, and I'm going to let it ride out with Jacoby Lane. I mean, he's already up to an 81. We got Xavier Worthy back, although we have to, work out a contract with him in the future. Rashee Rice is back on a contract. We've got a same fullback, essentially, as far as overall. Rashard Smith, we've got Singletary, and hopefully Jeremiah Love is going to be ready to go coming off the injury. So as far as our roster makeup, I like the look of that. We upgraded some positions in free agency, mostly right tackle and also edge rusher on the right side. And we definitely upgraded our free safety position with getting Trey Miguel. And we were also able to upgrade technically our strong safety position by moving Kevin Byard over there into, although it could potentially be his last season, but still. Upgrades are upgrades, and you take them any way you can possibly take them. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this live stream, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, I know that, I talk about it in the past where I'm trying to be more consistent with these, but lately there's been just a lot going on, and just felt like I needed, time to be able to, get things in order and, adult. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.